Hi team! Today's video is all about productivity. So we're going to find in a couple of simple, easy ways how to make our days a little bit more productive. I do this personally all the time. I am such a planner and I'm really excited to actually share some of my planning tips with you. So let's get to it. Number one is exactly that thing. Plan your time. Get out a planner, use online Google Calendar, whatever it is, make lists, actually block in sections of time in your day that you're going to dedicate to something or another thing. So this can be where I'm going at this time, whether or not I'm doing grocery shopping this day, whether or not I'm doing grocery shopping that day. Will that actually fit in with when I have to do these like dance class or whatever else is happening in my personal life? Put it all in one place so you can see it, you can plan it, you know where you're going, you know what you're up to on each day, and then there are no weird surprises, but most importantly, it's not all stored up here, because that's when we get forgetful, and it's also when we keep doing self-checks. It's when we keep going, is that thing on today? Yes. And that's already losing you time and valuable brain space that you can be using for other things. So write it down, empty it out of your brain, trust me, it works. One of the places I do this a lot is in my food planning and my meal planning. So if I plan out my meals for the week, it means I can then organize a grocery list from that meal plan, which means I don't waste time at the supermarket, which also means I'll stick to it better. It's far more likely that I'm actually gonna cook at home, that I'm gonna eat at home if it involves minimal thinking on my part. I won't go to a cupboard, open it and be like, oh, what do we have for dinner? It'll just be ready and good to go. If you're interested in seeing more about planning your meals for the week, you can check out a video that I'll put here. Or, depending on if I put this video out first, it'll be coming. Just, subscribe and click the bell, and that's how you'll find out about it. Ooh, being a real YouTuber, check it out. Okay, let's never do that again. Moving right along. Prioritize. Prioritize, prioritize, prioritize. So often we'll spend way too much time thinking about the little finicky things, and we'll spend no time thinking about the big important thing. Switch those around in your brain. You want to focus on the big important things first, and then if you have time, the stuff that doesn't matter so much. You'll get to it. It'll be fine. When you're planning your to-do lists, most important thing first. Or what I like to do is I'll plan a to-do list and then I'll go back in and highlight the important bits. So at a cursory glance I can be like, oh, they're the things that I need to get to first. If you don't believe me, notes for this vlog I'm doing. Plans for a different day. Oh, you should see my day planner. Highlights everywhere. I know I said this before in my decluttering... Oh, what was that video called? I've said it before and I'll say it again. Say no. Saying no is one of the most important things you can get comfortable with. Say no to extra plans. Say no to additional work that isn't going to actually help you progress down your career goals. Say no to extra little jobs that you don't need to fit into your errands day. Say no to things you just can't fit into your schedule. You've planned your schedule by now, you know what it is. Extra things that come along, either reprioritize or say no. Some things that will actually increase your productivity is splitting the workload and being very clear about splitting the workload. If you're asking for help, what specific things do you actually need support in? What stuff have you got handled by yourself and you don't need to think about another person? But what stuff are you struggling with? Delegate tasks to other people. We're living in this weird world where people assume asking for help is weak and saying no is inappropriate. We need to change the way that we're thinking about both of those things, and it will increase your productivity 100-fold. This is the final tip. So getting rid of distractions is actually surrounding yourself with the world that you want to see and the world that you want to have. So getting rid of distractions are things like deleting that game on your phone that you spend hours on but you really has no function in your life. Or deleting all of the accounts on your social media that are telling you that you should just buy stuff, that are business accounts. You don't need them, they're just trying to sell you things. And they're usually pretty effective at it. The other thing is write it down. We sort of covered this in planning, but there will often be times in your day, especially if your brain functions the same way that mine functions, where you'll have a continuous loop of things that you need to get done, and then you'll add stuff in and it will just be this rolling list of I have to make sure I do that, I have to make sure I do that, have I forgotten to plan this, have I forgotten to book that person, has that person had a contract sent to them yet? Okay, remember that. Write those things down. Make it into a list. As soon as they pop up in your brain, write it down. So I usually use the email system because I don't like to have work emails on my phone or work notes on my phone, which you shouldn't. Compartmentalize your life. But if I have one of those things pop up, I'll just quickly, in my personal email on my phone, write myself an email of things I have to do. I'll write out a to-do list in that email and send it to my work account. So I know that when I get to work, all of those things are on that list and it can empty out of my brain. I really, really love that technique. I find it helps a lot when I'm walking down the street in a time when I shouldn't be thinking about work. But that little thing just starts to ding, 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 ding. And I'm like, oh, I should get that done. Empty it out. Remember that busy does not equal productive. This is something that we're also weird about in the way that the world is now. We think that the more things we're doing, the more productive we are being, when in actual fact it's very much the opposite. So really, the more you do these steps, the less you will be doing, but the more productive your time will be, because your concentration isn't split between 100 little focuses. As always, guys, I know this was a quick one. I'm actually really proud of myself for being so direct with it. Oh, weird, I planned. Short and sweet's always the way. So here's some 4 really easy things that you can start putting into your life. A couple of quick bits of advice to make your day more productive. Give it a shot, go out in there in the world and see how you go. Good luck. As always, thanks for hanging out. I'll see you next time. Whoosh. I almost forgot. Here's my day planner. Told ya. Highlight. Cross out days when they're done. Helps a bunch. Alright team, adios.